They're good. Much
Yeah.
better there. All right,
So
yeah, Leeds West Ham. I mean, this is just a continuation of West Ham's woes, man.
disaster.
They've been absolutely atrocious, and Leeds came out the blocks hard. And I mean, there's not a lot to say here. They were horrific. West Ham came home a little bit stronger in the second half. Obviously,
Mm.
when you're down 2-0, you're having a crack, but
Mm.
really, if they had a competent striker Leeds and not Calvert-Lewin,
Game
um,
over.
this was an annihilation. So yeah, I mean, look, West Ham this year, they're on the drawing board, man. They'll be looking at 17th and circling it. That's got to be the aim for them. They've just got to survive.
You see Paqueta? He wants to leave in January, but he kept
Yeah,
on this. He had this. You see that? You know
yeah,
that one?
yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah. Hang
basically,
up the
which,
phone.
yeah, he did it to
I
us,
know.
and he's doing
Yeah,
that, and now he wants out. I'm like, get out of here.
I
So,
don't. Well, he's playing him as a striker at the moment.
well, he's got
Like
no other options.
I'm just looking at that team, man. It's
They're they're a mess.
Juve, Irving, Suchek, who's a bit long in the legs now. Scales. What's that midfield?
Irving, I don't
Yes,
even
I'm
know.
saying Irving, Suchek,
He's a kid,
Diouf, Scales. Come on. Todibo's been terrible.
mate. That's what you got this
Basaka's,
week. If you don't win that,
yes.
I'm embarrassed for you guys.
Well, he's got to
Dead
make
set.
some changes, Nunes. Like the thing is, West Ham are a better team than what they're showing. Like they've got a
Way
couple of
better.
pieces.
Yeah.
Like you know, I mean,
Jeez.
play Fernandez in the middle.
They got Callum
Uh,
Wilson.
that's what I'm saying. Play Fernandez and
Oh my
Paqueta in the
God.
middle at least.
Yeah.
You got Bowen, Wilson up top.
Yeah.
Put
Not
Kyle
good.
Walker-Peters at right back.
Yep.
Play Bissaka at left back. Like what I'm saying is he's got pieces there to
Yeah.
they shouldn't be where they are. Like,
No
this is
way.
a team. This is the team. If you told me they finished 14th this year or 13th, I'd believe it. I'd go, you know
Mm.
what? That's sort of where they are, this team.
Yep.
But to be entrenched in the bottom three,
Shocking.
horrific.
Shocking.
But for Leeds, look, good result for Leeds. They've got to win their home games. They're a tough team at home.
Mm.
Um, even without a striker, that ghost that is Calvert-Lewin,
Yeah.
they're going to be a handful because they play high intensity. The crowd is all over them, and they've got a voracious home support. Look, they can be beaten obviously at home, but they're going to give these lower half teams
Mm.
a real fright.
Mate,
You
that's
know,
what I'm saying. Yeah, Leeds, I think I said it last week. These promoted teams are probably the best bunch I've seen in a long time in terms of quality and what they've done so far.
yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
that's
I
driven by
agree.
Sunderland a lot, but so far,
Yeah.
Leeds has been in most games. They haven't really been hammered like, you know, previous sort of promotional teams. Even Burnley, like they went to Wolves and they won 3-2. So that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Wolves are
yeah.
an
No,
established
I agree.
Premier League outfit. So it's not all doom and gloom. But yeah, Leeds has always
Mm.
been the type going to Ellen Road is a very hostile, Galatasaray-esque sort of environment where people are just want to sitting on top of you, throwing beer cans at you.
Galatasaray.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like highly, highly
Yeah, yeah,
hostile.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's got that sort of feel to it. So they got that
Ellen
on.
Road's a tough place. Tough
It
place to
is.
play. That's not
The fans get really
yeah,
behind
that's
them.
yeah, that's
But
definitely not a place that you wanna
but having said
you,
that,
you
that,
wanna
that
go.
team's not anything special on paper. Empadu, Longstaff, Tanaka in the
No, it's
middle.
not. It's not. But they're
So
hardworking,
they
and
are.
they get impetus from the home fans.
They do.
Anyway, I think that's enough on Leeds West
Yeah.
Ham.
Yeah, way too much.
Hardly, otherwise we're going to
Mm.
be here all night. Next game probably more interesting.
Chelsea,
Uh,
Sunderland.
Chelsea 1, Sunderland 2.
Sheesh.
Wow, what a result, man! This is your team. You've been backing this horse from day one.
Mate, that Sunderland team is littered with some serious veterans in there that know how to play, especially Saka in the middle. In the middle, sorry, Xhaka in the middle. Sorry. So that team is, like I said, that is not a typical promotion team. That is definitely a
Yeah,
mid-table team that's probably overachieving the way they've built it, and they're missing players that I believe are, going to make them better. Especially that I keep harping on about the Diarra guy.
yeah,
When he
Diarra,
comes
yeah.
back, they've got Gertrude on the right, mate. They've got a good team, a very, very solid team for a promotion sort of campaign.
Mate,
Uh,
one of the other than Isidore, who's scored a few goals
He's from
for
the
him,
chip
but
too.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like he wasn't anything special in the chip, and he's coming to the Premier League and he's putting
Mm,
chances away,
mm.
which is, I mean, is that going to continue? What's his name? Mekulele, whatever his name is, the guy that came
Oh,
from
yes.
PSG.
Yep, he's
He's
good.
been for me very impressive at the
Yeah,
back. He's
he has.
adapted very well. And when you look at some of the fees that defenders have been going for, and
Oh,
people can't
yeah.
find a good defender, he's just walked in and said, "Yep." mate, I can defend in this league, no problem.
Well, not only
And
that, the keeper.
Rofs, oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah,
Buffon.
he's look, they've got some good pieces, and I don't think anyone's I mean, it's not really a much of a comment. I don't think Sunderland's got any risk of going down.
No.
They're going to be looking up rather than down. How high can we finish?
Yep.
Could they finish the end of the year? Ninth, 10th?
Yes, I think
Good
they can.
chance.
Yeah.
But are they going to sustain this for 38 games? I mean, this has been a dream run. I can't see them sustaining this sort of form for the whole season, but I
No.
can definitely see them still picking up some points. But Chelsea. Mate, what are your thoughts on Chelsea? I mean,
I
they're both a top five rival for both of us. What are your
I
thoughts on them?
now that you've seen them without Palmer and the wheels have sort of slowed down over time, they picked up a couple of freak results early on with and
Yeah,
without Palmer. Pedro's gone missing AWOL. Um, they all obviously got good pieces, but that midfield's not midfield. That back line's just going to let them down too many times. That's
mm,
diabolical. That back line, and that's
yeah,
what gives
yeah.
me a bit of confidence because when I look at teams around the hunters for the top five. I mean, forget Arsenal, Liverpool. Even though they're not doing well, I can't not say they're going to make the top. For me,
They'll make the top
they're going to
five. They'll
somehow
make,
finish second or third, 100%.
yeah, 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 yeah.
City for me is it's highly dependent on Haaland. Where Haaland goes, he
And
takes them
Rodri
as
and
far.
Rodri to
Well,
come
yeah,
back.
and Rodri. So I don't know
Rodri
where.
unlocks the midfield,
Yeah,
and Haaland does the rest up top.
mm,
Because Rodri can defend and
yeah,
he'll
and
recycle the
distribute.
ball and get the ball to all the guys
Yeah,
that can cause damage in dangerous positions.
yeah.
Without him, they look a little bit like a choir without a conductor. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what string
They're
we pulling now?
very robotic. Yeah, against
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
for the games that we've been without Rodri, they've really struggled in the midfield. And look, for me, everyone kind of harps on about strikers, but for me, the battle's won in the midfield. If you win the midfield, you got a
Yeah.
very, very high chance to win the game, and their
You're in
midfield's
every
shocking.
game. You're in every
Yeah.
game. Which comes
So,
on to Chelsea, man. Like, I mean, they made so many signings. They
mm,
they recycled so many players.
mm.
Has their strike force got better this year?
Well, Delap played this morning,
I know, and he
got
got
sent
sent off.
off.
But yeah, and
So
and
that's
and he copped the wrath of Maresca, who said he's basically
yeah,
a twat. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Elbowed him.
brainless. Yeah, exactly. So that's not a good start. Um, that Gui, he's too young. He's not going to do
Yeah,
anything.
too
The
young.
key signing for them up top was João Pedro, and
And
he went.
Estavio.
Well, Stavio's on the right. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's good. But João Pedro's the guy they need to get 15 to 20 goals to
yeah,
supplement Cole Palmer. And
yeah.
if Cole Palmer's out for any period of time, this team is really exposed.
Big time.
Because
Mm.
you know, Madueke and Jackson, for all their flaws last year, along with Palmer,
Scored.
they had enough goals
Yeah,
about them to be effective in games.
yeah,
But you take away Madueke, he's gone to Arsenal.
yeah,
Okay, I mean he was a bit hit and miss at Chelsea,
yeah.
but Neto now there's a lot of responsibility on him.
Garnacho.
Garnacho had a moment in this game, but he's wildly
Yeah,
inconsistent, and he's not going to defend. He's not going to come back and support Cucurella. So if
yep,
Cucurella's going to bomb forward, he
yep,
needs to think twice. Can he get back?
yeah,
Because his left winger ain't going to be tracking back that
yeah.
way. So that affects the dynamic of the team. And yeah, I mean, look, João Pedro and Gui,
Mm.
the onus is on them to break down teams and score goals and get in the box. And if they're not going to do it, and you've
Nah,
got a bit of a suspect defense because of injuries, like they've copped
yeah,
a lot of injuries, they were a little gazelle in the Serengeti without its pride, man. And they were in,
yeah.
Sunderland were like, you know what, I'll take my lunch here. Like I can get a result, and they did.
That's what I'm saying. Sunderland's got some veterans in there that know how to control games. The game management's unbelievable.
Well,
But
look at the winning goal, Rick.
yeah,
Like
the
Saka
layoff,
No, well, we'll get to the layoff. Saka got the ball. He looked up and he said, I'm going to ping it to my striker,
Robbie.
Robbie.
Yeah, yeah,
Robbie got the ball and the defender's not even putting pressure on him or
yeah,
making him run to the byline. Like
yeah.
if you had the ball in that position, I'm poking at your foot
Push you
or
out.
I'm
Yeah,
leaning towards to push you out.
yeah,
I'm not sitting there letting you post me up like
yeah,
Shaq in his
yeah,
prime and
yeah,
then wait for a guy to come in and lay it off. Like it was the most idiotic defending. Like it's schoolboy stuff.
yeah. It's crap.
You know what I mean? Like I've I would be kicking at your foot and staying close to you and letting you drive towards the flag. I
Yeah.
wouldn't letting you, oh wait, let me see who's charging in. I'm gonna hold this guy
Yeah.
off. Like it was shambles,
It
man.
was easy.
And if you're gonna do that and if you're gonna defend like that and you can't score,
Yeah.
you're gonna lose games.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose games, you know?
But you know what? They held Chelsea to bay most of the game as well. They were in the game the whole time. It wasn't, even though they did dominate most parts of the game, Chelsea, they just didn't have any end product. So, and then at the
Yes,
end of the day, I think Sunderland took its chances when they could. They managed the game quite well.
exactly. You know, that
But
was the game plan. Soak it up, counter,
yeah, and it
and
worked.
when you counter against the team
Can't
who's
defend.
not strong defensively,
Mm.
you got a chance. You know what I mean?
The one
Anyway, look,
saving grace is they got
the,
the lap this week that he said he was playing. So
yeah,
Gui
but
goes to the bench.
yeah, well, that's going to help a little bit,
Yeah,
but the reality is, man, these guys need to score. Delap and
Pedro.
Pedro need to score goals. You know,
Well, in theory, it should be
because
enough. Pedro, Delap, Neto, and Garnacho. That's a lot.
yeah, I know.
That should be plenty, but clearly not.
All right, next
Um,
game,
where are we at? Jesus, Newcastle Fulham,
Newcastle.
NBA.com.
Look, yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm going to be honest here. This was, we're located in Sydney, Australia. This was a very hard watch on the other side of the world at 2 a.m. I'm not gonna lie. If I wasn't a Newcastle fan, I'm definitely turning the TV off and I'm getting some shut eye. This was not an easy game to watch, but it looked like for the most part two two mid-table teams that were looking for a moment of inspiration and you know they made they made a mistake through that Bassi.
Yeah,
That was a terrible mistake. And Jacob Murphy went through, he put it away,
yeah,
and then he did it again. Murphy went in on goal again,
yeah,
and he missed this time. But really, it was very much a scrap. You
yeah,
know, um, I thought I thought Murphy was good. I thought Malik Chow was good from the back. He really had impetus to push us forward.
mm,
Nick Pope made a few good saves, which it's not good for your goalkeeper to stand out.
yeah.
And for them, I thought that Kevin made a real
He
difference when he
did
came on.
on that left.
He, you
Yeah,
know, I was following Newcastle Twitter and people were like, "Who's this Kevin? Sign him." Like, people
yes,
were saying,
street
"Man,
baller.
make an offer at full time and bring him in." Like he looked very dangerous.
Yeah, it's very tricky.
Um,
Yeah,
Miley, who had a good game versus Benfica in the Champions League, he struggled a little bit in this game.
mm,
And it was no surprise once Tonali came on, we started to have a bit more control. And then the big change of the game was when we gave Waltemar a rest a little bit finally.
mm.
We've been driving that guy into the concrete. And Usula came on. And
Yeah,
Usula, as soon as he came on, he had pace, he harried the defenders, he pressed,
mm,
he made a great run, he nicked the ball off the player, and we scored at the death. And you know what? It's a game that could have gone either way.
yeah,
But I think in the last 20 minutes, especially with Tonali on,
yeah,
you know, there's a big golfing class between Tonali and Miley. We
yeah,
got control of the midfield, and even in the Sofa score attack momentum, like
yeah,
Ricky, I think you're
yeah,
looking at the same thing I am.
yeah,
It's almost to the second that Tonali came on, the
yeah,
game completely changed, right?
yeah.
And we got control, we pressed them, and we scored.
Mm.
But look, this is not one you'd want to rewatch back.
Yeah, literally. I
Yeah.
think the same. I watched it. I thought the same thing. It was a bit of a basketball match because people just that Kevin. Honestly, he was amazing when he came on. But having said
Mm.
that, I think Murphy had a few good. I think Murphy was pretty dangerous, and I think Gomez Bruno lighted up towards the end. I saw him trying to will the
Yeah,
team on.
yeah.
I felt like he was trying. He was actually one of the bright spots for you, as in he was trying to will the team forward. He had a few good chances. Missed that header. Doesn't matter. You
Mm.
still won it. But again, one of those ones you put in the archives and say 3 points rather than performance,
Look,
and you take it.
and
You
you
have
you
to.
know what the funny thing is? Like, look, the XG was 2.1 versus 1.5. Like it was
High.
there was a lot of chances in this game.
Yeah.
The irony is that I thought we were better versus Brighton, right? It was like,
Mm.
especially after half time, I thought there was only going to be one team
Uh,
that won it, and we lost that game. And this game, it was apart from the last 20 minutes, Fulham had a good account of themselves, man. Like they could have definitely had a draw here. So look, it is what it is. We take the 3 points at this stage of the season. It's all about results. Um, and we live to fight
You
another day.
you
We yeah.
you just got to cling on, as in just get as many results as possible to keep with
Yeah,
the herd. If you kind
exactly.
of
For
try
we've
dropping
got
these
we've got
games,
I mean we've got two big pieces that have to come back. We've got Wissa and Livramento. And Wissa will relieve Walter Mata a lot, right? Like at the moment, Walter Mata's doing too much. He's playing too many minutes.
yeah,
It was only a month ago he signed, and in the first game he said I got cramp at half time. It's too quick for me, the Premier League.
yeah,
And like we've had to get the guy up to speed, and during that time we're playing him every minute.
yeah,
So I think Wissa will get the start once he gets a few games to get acclimatized and get his fitness up. But then at left back, Dan Burn, he's a very easy target, and you're only as good as your weakest link, right?
mm,
And if teams are gunning for him, it puts us on the back foot immediately. And I think if Livramento goes there or Lewis Hall, who's the proper left back, we're going to have more of a balance. We've got
yeah.
ball players, we can push forward, we'll have pace to come back. So, look, we need those two pieces especially, and I think then we'll improve.
Interesting times, interesting times.
Yeah.
I won't hijack the meeting about Newcastle, but we'll move
No, no,
on.
all
We'll
good.
go to Man United. I think
What are your thoughts?
just Man United. I actually think they played well this game. They were up 2-3-0 or 2-0, and they had a lot of chances. And Wemo literally sticks them home when he gets in front of goal. He rarely misses. He
Yeah,
hits the target. I'll give him that much. That guy, for me, has been one of the signings of the season so far. The way he's
yeah,
played, not the way the
yeah.
results, the way he's played. I think he's had a cracker so far in terms of what he's contributed. Few unmissed chances, couple of scorpion kicks. He's done some freaky stuff, and I'm like, geez, yeah, he can really play
Mm,
that guy. So,
mm.
which when you at Brentford, but at Man United, he's been the difference maker for me. I mean, Cunha got a goal here as well, but I think they've won three on the trot now, which is finally they're doing something. I
Three or
think,
two?
is it two? Oh, I thought it was
Two on the
three.
try. Yeah, yeah. No, they haven't won three. Two.
Okay, so
I thought it was two. Yeah.
yeah, they've moved into six, which is probably the highest they've have been under Amaron ever, which is true. Um, and like I said, that Brighton team is generally a bogey team for most clubs. And to be honest,
Mm.
United played them off the park at the start. Not off the park, but they gave them a really, really tough game. The funny thing with Man
Yeah,
United is they've given a lot of teams a tough game attacking wise. They just can't defend. So I think the three up top, well, Sesko yet to be determined, but I think Cunha, and obviously Fernandez behind him is working. It's just
yeah,
everyone behind him, like we said at the start, not really. So I don't know. And Diallo, I really like Diallo. What's his name?
yeah.
Is it
He works
Armadale?
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
I like him a lot.
Mm.
So they've got, funnily enough, and it's hard for me to say this, but United look a lot better than they did a month ago. It's amazing what a couple of wins
Yeah,
can do, right?
and that's what we keep saying on the chat. Like the season can change really quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for better or for worse.
Mm.
If you lose a couple on the trot, and those around you win, you fall
Yeah.
away. You win a couple on the trot, all of
Yep.
a sudden you're okay with you got the Champions League music in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it can change very quick.
Yep.
But yeah, I agree. I think Embuemo for me has been one of the best signings of the season
Oh yeah.
so far. He's, a lot of people say the Manchester United shirt is very heavy and players don't perform and the pressure gets to you. All that's gone out the window with Embuemo.
Oh yeah.
He's come in and he's like, you know what? Give me the ball. I don't care what jersey or what stadium I'm
Yeah.
playing. This might as well be an indoor practice pitch. I'm just
Yeah.
going to play my game.
Oh
And
yeah.
he's just gone in there and he's so
No fear.
direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
with a bit more luck, he would have had a couple more goals this season. Like
Oh, easy.
he's been so dangerous.
He has.
And for me, it's very bittersweet because he was our number one target on that right flank,
Yeah.
and we've gone from him potentially joining our team to Elanga, which is like
Mm.
yeah, it's a polar other end of the spectrum. But look, he's a good player. When you've got players like Mbeumo, Cunha, Fernandez going forward, you've got some of the better players in the Premier League
No
in a
Europe as
comp that's
well.
very up and down. Yeah, the No Europe thing's
Yeah.
huge, right?
Yeah.
They're sitting there whole week planning,
Oh yeah.
training, making
Yep.
sure they're not getting any niggles, and they can go at it 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
Um, look, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I think they're a team that could really, you know, They should be looking for top five, top six, top seven. That's what Man United really should be aiming for
Oh
this
yeah,
year. I don't know it's very early, and the wheels can fall off very quick with them because if Mbeumo goes down,
yep.
and you're relying on Sesko and Diallo in your attack, the thing can change very quickly. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, big time,
Um,
big time.
so look, positive signs for Menu. Like I
Mm.
think who they got this week. I think we'll get to the preview, but um,
They have. Geez, where is it? Forest away.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good game to play. The way Forest have been going, that's a
It,
good
it
game to play.
it
You
is
know,
Forest at home.
So
Yeah.
exactly, if they win there,
Sorry, away. Sorry,
um,
away. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if
Yeah.
if they win at Forest,
Oh,
which is
huge.
definitely winnable because that
Yeah.
squad is the morale's pretty low,
Yeah.
Man, you'll be on 19 points, man. And
Pretty
if
good.
you're on 19 points after 10 games,
You're second.
yeah, well, the table, everyone
Yeah.
else will pick up
Yeah.
points too. But you'll probably be top six, top five, or you're six
Easy.
now.
Yeah,
If that,
but
you probably break in the top five, right? So
there's some big games this week because you've got Man City, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Tottenham, Chelsea, Forest, Man United. There's going to be a few tilts now.
yeah, I know.
So next
There,
week we'll
there,
talk. We'll
there
come
will
to it.
be.
So
Yeah, we'll definitely get to it. But yeah, anyway, great
uh,
result for Man U, and
huge.
you know, maybe it's too early to say they've turned the corner, but I'm seeing a couple of shoots of grass coming up, so I'm starting to think,
Yeah.
something's growing here. So they're on the right trajectory. You know what I mean?
I just,
Yeah.
I'm,
So
I'm just, I'm just kind of mindful of them getting another transfer window where they can just dump 200 mil and not blink an eyelid. So it's inevitable they're going to come back,
well,
surely.
I don't know.
Spending
Look,
that much money.
structurally, I still think they're a long way off.
Oh, big time.
Pushing the top four, but at the moment, there's got some positive signs there. Another game,
They do.
Sesko didn't score. You're at home.
Yeah.
He's they can't afford him to end the season on 9 goals or 8 goals, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna, I mean, if Mbuemo gets close to 20, that'll make a big difference. But
Yeah.
Sesko needs to pull his weight as well. You can't have a striker with not double digit scoring in this team.
No way.
So
No
yeah,
chance. Okay.
yeah. What's next?
Uh, Brentford, Liverpool. Ha!
Oof, I'll leave it
Another
to you,
one.
man.
Mate, we all laughed at Brentford, including me at the start. I've had them as a relegation candidate. They're anything but that. Especially
Yeah,
their home form, they've taken care of literally a lot of big teams. Man, I think they've beaten Man United, they've beaten us, took care of Chelsea, had tied with, drew with them, made difficult for City. They've now beaten Liverpool. It's no fluke. These guys know what they're doing at home. They make it really hard.
yeah.
They're long frozen set pieces. It's not pretty, but who cares? It
Mm.
gets the job done. And that Michael Canate from bloody halfway throwing the balls into the box is very hard to deal with
Coyote.
when you got like a couple of 6'5"ers in there just deflecting headers left, right, and center. It's very hard to defend. So
Yeah, yeah.
kudos to Keith Andrews, who's an ex Birmingham player, which is not good, but that's all right. He's in his element, the set piece coach. I think Brentford are way overachieving. They got, you know, looking at Thiago, there's people linked with him left, right, and center. He's
Jeez.
got 6 goals in
Already.
9.
Yeah.
People wrote him off.
Seven
He
in
was,
10. Seven
yeah,
in 10.
7 in 10. People wrote him
Yeah.
off, but he's like, this guy's flying. So,
Hmm.
good luck to him. Jordan Henderson looks like a smart pickup for him. He's like, he was meant to replace Norgard that went to Arsenal, and he's done a good job so far. So, you know what? Good luck
Yeah.
to him. I never minded Brentford. I think they're a well-run club. They deserve to be in the Premier League the way they've
Yeah,
run.
yeah,
But yeah, Liverpool, on the other hand, that's their fourth straight loss in the league. Not good.
yeah. Oof.
They lost this morning to Palace in the Carabao Cup. Not good again.
Much changed side.
Much
They
change.
basically put out
They
their
did.
second or third team. It was a wholesale changes, but not good for
How,
morale, no matter which way you look at it. Liverpool never, they never want to lose at home, no matter what
no.
team they send out. You know what I mean? But
But how many losses in a row can the club handle before they say to Slot, hey, we need to start looking at this a bit more, a bit more
well,
closer.
it's
Th-
6 in 7, right? I think they've lost 6 games in
Yeah,
7,
yeah.
which
Europe
is
as well.
wow.
Yeah.
Like this is Liverpool, man. This is the team that won the Premier League. You've
Yep.
spent 450 million pounds
Monster.
in the summer, right? And your squad just looks weaker for some reason. Like things are just,
Yeah, not
especially
clicking.
defensively, you're
Yeah,
just at sixes and sevens. You know,
even their midfield isn't the
I
greatest. I
yeah.
feel their midfield isn't clicking yet. Szoboszlai's been moved around left, right, and center. He's their key guy. I don't know. Just looks
Well,
a bit weird.
I'm looking at their starting lineup here, right? Their fullbacks have been a huge problem for them.
Oh yeah,
Kirkez has not adapted. You know, Van Dyke at any point is waiting to point at him, tell him where
yeah,
you going, like publicly berate him.
yeah.
So that can't be good for confidence.
No,
Kanate's definitely fallen off.
yeah,
Mamashvili, he's a competent keeper. I
yeah,
thought he'd be a little bit better, but
yeah.
he's certainly no Allison.
No,
Allison will, he might pull off 3 or 4 saves and go, whoa,
yeah.
he's actually saved us. So defensively, we can draw a line and say this
Trouble.
team has challenges
Yeah.
defensively. When you get to midfield, I think Slozably's been awesome this year.
Oh
Like I
yeah,
think
he's
every Liverpool
top
fan will
player.
admit that. His midfield, right back, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He's been
Yeah.
awesome. And you got Curtis
Curtis
Jones,
Jones.
right, who's played pretty good. Where it gets dangerous for Liverpool is in front of those two because Wirtz has been lightweight.
Yep.
Salah he stopped his superhuman effort in terms of output,
Yep.
and if he doesn't score goals, he ain't gonna offer too much more.
Yep.
He's not.
Ah,
Especially at this stage of his career, he's certainly not coming back to help out the right back.
no.
So you've got two very lightweight players in that midfield area, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure on the teams. You can't carry passengers. So if
No.
you've got two lightweight players in the midfield, you got two fullbacks who are they're all over the shop. You can
Words. Yeah.
quickly diagnose where the problem is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They've got four problem positions out of 11. If you include the goalkeeper for now, maybe five, but he's been okay, but he hasn't been amazing.
No.
And then up front, Ekitike, look, this was probably his worst game that I've seen him play, but
He's been
overall,
good though. Yeah.
he's been a very good signing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and sorry, the last part of that is they haven't meshed.
No.
So you've got all these challenges in the team, and they just look like they met
Yeah.
5 minutes before kickoff. They're
Yeah.
not playing as a team.
No.
So I worry about Liverpool. Like well, I don't worry about them. I'm a Newcastle fan. I hope this continues.
Hmm.
They deserve it for the way they carried on with us and holding us ransom over Ekitike and Isak and that whole saga. But
Yeah.
look, you reap what you sow.
Hmm.
You know,
Not good. Not good at all
not
for
good.
him. Not good at
Good,
all.
good, not good for
Well,
them,
good.
but good,
Yeah.
good for us. Yeah.
Actually, not good for us coming up. But anyways.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right. Arsenal Palace. I think I watched this game. I think Palace gave them a few scares. They actually went on. They pushed them around a bit at the back, and you could see Arsenal
Mm.
were pulling out the big guns to sort of keep it at a clean sheet. But again, Arsenal came through as they got the goal, written in true, as the stars were written in the stars. Didn't celebrate, but at the end of the day, again, Arsenal comes through with a industrial type win, blue collar win, 1-0 to the good. So far they're winning a lot of their games like this. They have blown a couple of teams off, like Atletico Madrid the other day, but it's still they're winning. They haven't lost. Have lost one game this season. They've conceded 3 goals. That's how strong they are at the moment defensively. So
Wisely. Mm.
they've really really buckled down at the back and at the front. They've got so many options. They don't even need. And the funny thing is they didn't even need Gyökeres firing. That's how good they're traveling. Everyone
That's
else
the
is chipping
irony of
in.
it all, right? That's the irony of it all. The missing
So
piece was the striker, and
yeah,
they
they don't
filled
even
the
need him.
void with a striker, but they're
Yeah,
winning despite of the
yeah.
strike, in spite of the striker. Um,
Well, they got a brand new attack
yeah,
basically. Like they got Eze
yeah.
there. Madueke's done well with them. Martinelli's popped his head out. Saka, there's the lesser reliance on Saka. Gyökeres runs the channel as well, but it's not scoring. So they've got
Mm,
so many options at the moment. It's not even Zubimendi is another planet. So again, that team's stacked. And with
mm.
Palace again, they're on a bit of a bad run, I'd say. Based on
Yeah, yeah.
their current form, which is weird when you look at the table. They've actually slipped into 10th behind a few teams like us that have had a bad
Unbelievable, eh?
season. So you couldn't come up with this even if you tried. But
Yeah.
again, Arsenal got the job done. They know how to win. They won this morning again. They just keep the juggernaut just keeps on going. If they don't win this, this season, I don't know when they're going to win it. They've had such a good start. I can't think of anything better for them in
Yeah.
terms of a start. So good luck to them.
Look, I mean, uh, this was a workmanlike performance from Arsenal.
Yeah.
It was very tight. It wasn't, Arsenal had the better of it. They were a little bit
Mm,
better. Uh, and they did enough. I'd say they did enough.
mm,
Again, if you're not conceding goals, you have a chance to win games. And Gyökeres is for me the only. I know Arsenal fans are very positive on him at the moment,
yeah.
but you know he needs to score goals in games that are in jeopardy.
Yeah.
You can't have him scoring the fourth in a 5-0 rout.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do that, but where he's going to add value and get them over the line this year is in a game like this where, you know, they needed a goal and
Mm,
Eze got it, not
mm,
Gyökeres. You know what I mean? So look, I'm sure his time will come, but he's paid for that, right? He's
mm,
the marquee signing for that. At the moment, it seems like everybody else is having a crack at doing it,
yeah.
and that's not their day job.
Yeah.
Zubimendi braces. You know,
Yeah.
Eze having a crack. Madueke getting flyers.
Yeah. Martinelli
What I'm
even
saying is,
far out.
yeah, everybody's
Mm,
chiming in, but the guy that they brought in, Gyökeres, you know, I mean, I'm hopefully he's fit enough now. He's been playing forever,
yeah.
but that's the only blight I have on this team. And will it come back to haunt them? I don't think so because I just think
No.
Liverpool are in such a mess. Man City are so reliant on one player.
Mm,
If Haaland goes down for any period of time, they're completely cooked. So
yeah.
who's challenging? There's really,
Nobody.
there's nobody. So Arsenal
No.
can even stutter this year, and it might be enough to get over the line anyway.
Mm.
But I mean, look, defensively they're very good. Saliba and Gabriel, probably the best defensive pair in the comp. Timber's
In
been
Europe.
really good at right back. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
comp Europe, same thing. Like
Yeah.
Arsenal's one of the best teams in Europe. But Timber's been really surprising at right back. He's been really good this
Oh
year.
yeah.
Um, I mean, but that midfield of Rice, Subamendi, and Eze,
It's
it's
loaded.
just working. It's just working, you know. And then you don't even mention Saka, and
No.
Saka's
Or
been there.
Odegaard.
Yeah, Saka's been their talisman for the last
Yeah.
3 years, you know.
Mm.
Um, it's striker and left wing. That's sort of where they're at. If Odegaard comes back and you play Eze at left wing, you lose a bit of pace, and
Yeah.
that's it's not a good thing in an attacking position to be without pace. But I mean, they bought Gyökeres for what, 60 million?
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing stopping Arsenal to go out and spend 100 million or 90 million and get another striker in
Yeah.
that could be the first choice and Gyökeres could be the backup. They only
Mm.
spent 60 on him. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't as if, it wasn't an Isak type signing,
Mm.
but it just makes you think, what would have this Arsenal team look like if they said, no, we don't want Gyökeres, we don't want Sesko, we want Ekitike.
Yeah.
What would have this team look like if they had Ekitike in there? You know what I mean?
But I would say with Gyökeres, he does give him an option. He's a bit of a nuisance up front. Like he does make a big difference that way in terms of running the channels, giving him an outlet. Whereas they never had that before, really. They all had guys that are kind of CFs or CMs or wingers trying to play forward. This guy gives them a proper outlet. I've actually watched him quite a bit in terms of he's not scoring, but he's active. He makes things happen. He's very very mobile. He runs the channels. He gives them an option, which I think helps a lot in terms of the way they're playing at the
Look,
moment. So I think
it,
without him, I don't know if they'd be as successful. His off the ball play
uh,
is pretty good.
if they played Moreno up front, he might have the same amount of goals, if not
Mm,
more. You know what I mean?
maybe.
And he can hold the ball up. He can,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is this Arsenal midfield and defense is so good.
It's
They're
loaded.
winning in spite of him, right?
Yeah.
But look, it's probably the wrong thing. I don't want to be sitting here picking on Gyökeres on another Arsenal win
Yeah.
because Arsenal deserved to win this game. It was
Mm,
very close, but they edged it.
mm.
And at the moment, they're not just the best team in the Premier League, they're probably the best team in Europe. Like they're
Yeah.
they're so good at the moment.
Yeah.
Um,
Flying.
but as we said a little bit earlier, the season can change very quickly.
Yes.
And for their fantastic start, if let's just say Liverpool get their act together and they slip up once or twice,
Mm,
guess who's behind them, if not ahead of them? And all
mm,
of a sudden you're thinking, wow, Liverpool have woken up, you
mm.
know, Isak and Ekitike, let's just say they start firing, they're working.
Yeah.
Now Arsenal have something to worry about. But
Yeah.
as it stands right now, they're
No chance.
clearly the best team, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think they're gonna win this comp.
Well, they have like, if you lose it from this standpoint, plus the team they have, plus the money they've spent, there's a lot of pluses there that kind of should equate to a title.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, there's
Mm.
something severely wrong, and Arteta does not deserve to stay if that doesn't happen. So
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
look, they're 7 points ahead of Liverpool already.
That's
All right,
heaps,
6 points ahead of City.
mate. They're 4 points
All
ahead of
right.
Bournemouth, who play City this week and at away. So
Yeah, no, it's looking amazing for
they're
them.
going to
But I
clear.
think,
Yeah,
yeah, the keys, is they're 7 clear of Liverpool, mate,
yeah,
and they've got a plus. What is it?
13.
A plus 13 versus plus 2 goal difference.
It's
Like
huge,
this is huge. Like
massive.
they're in a great position at the moment.
Oh yeah, big time,
Yeah.
mate. Yeah, I cannot
And they
see anyone
deserve it.
beating them.
They
Yeah,
deserve it, to be honest. Like
they do.
it's well deserved. Like they're playing well, they recruited well, and it's starting from the back. Like they're defending really, really well, and it's giving them a great platform.
I can't see anyone in current
Yeah,
form early beating them at the moment. Not one team in the comp.
yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. They're too good at the
They're
moment.
too good, way too good.
Next game,
Who's
Aston
next?
Villa 1, Man City nil.
Ah,
On the chat about 4 days before this, I predicted this score, and I predicted Matty Cash to get the winner, and and it came true. Matty
mate.
Cash, 1-0. The only thing I got wrong was the timing. I predicted in the 84th minute, he scored in the 19th, but you can't get everything right. So
Mate, you could be a rabbit foot. Who knows? Um, yeah, no, good win. I definitely think we're good for it. Watching him, it
mm,
wasn't like normally when you beat City in years gone by, you'd say, "Oh, that was a tough game. We fluked that one." But we've beaten City threes in a trot now at home. So
yeah, yeah,
clearly we've got a game plan that works or has worked. And I think Emery's we've picked up recently quite a bit. And then look, it hasn't been brilliant, but we've carved out wins where I guess we would have lost probably at the start of the season the way we've been playing. So the team's, I think, slowly coming together. We've got some players back like Kamara and Nana had a magnificent game against City, funnily enough. Without him, I think we screwed that game because he literally blocked everything with
yeah,
his
yeah.
head, his chest, everything, through his whole body in front of everything. So I can't fault him for that. So if we can play like that every week, then mate, I'm more than happy to keep him around the first team. But the the thing for me is we didn't take a like it's still the one thing well, two things actually. Buendia is injured and he's been one of our best players. He looks like he walked off in a moon boot, so who knows how long he's gone for. And then Ollie Watkins again, he still looks rusty. He just doesn't look like he's on it.
Yeah,
Like he
he's
runs the channels well. He does the hold up play. He splits the defenders. He does all the right
something's up
stuff.
with him, eh? Like
I don't know.
I don't know if it's mental or
Don't
it's
know.
just he's he's
Don't know.
he's just coming
It's
back, you know what
strange.
I mean? Like, yeah, he's
On shots, he'd
but
normally have a crack on. He's not taking cracks. He's passing him up.
mm,
I'm like, what are you doing? So I don't know. I don't know if he wants to be there or what, but he got subbed off for Marlon. Marlon came on and just sort of saw the game out, but still, this was not an Ollie Watkins type of performance I'd expect. I mean, yes, he was good, and Emery praised him, and his typical
mm,
typical striker play was good. Yes, just the goals. He just doesn't look like he's going to score ever anymore. He just looks like he's lost that
mm.
sort of sniff for goal. But again, Man City, they obviously
Look,
missing Rodri. They played Reinders there, so that was a bit of a problem. They had Haaland, but at the same time, Haaland got basically one chance and one offside goal, which is literally
yeah,
not Haaland. So we did well
mm,
sort of stopping him. And we kind of dealt with their midfield coming forward, which wasn't really that, dynamic at the moment. So all in all, I think we're good for the win. I think this is probably our best game of the season. We controlled the game quite well. And the thing with Villa is when we're in a midfield battle with a bit of an arm wrestle and we get the upper hand in the midfield, we normally really, really clamp on teams. If we lose the midfield, we don't really recover well. It's one of those ones where I know everyone says you win the midfield, win the game. We're really, really that motto. Like we win the midfield, we generally win games. We lose the midfield, we're done. We're cooked. And that's the way we play because everything's so central to us in terms of control the game, how we spread the ball, play Ollie through, connect Morgan to the middle. All that sort of stuff is really vital with Kamara, Tillmans, and Onana in the middle. And you put Barkley on, who's yeah, he's older, but he did actually quite well. He played Ollie through,
He's
who's
experienced. He's an experienced player. Like
see the game out, a couple little
yeah.
taps, kick the ball out when he has to, lay on the floor, waste time, all that sort of stuff. He knows all that. So again, good win. I'm happy. We got Liverpool this week. I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't hope. I hope to God it's not
You
typical.
got the best time. I can't think of a better time to play Liverpool. If I asked you when to play Liverpool and I
It
said to
is.
you, do you want to play Liverpool or would you rather play Liverpool? Here's the context. They've lost 6 of their last 7 games and the world is caving in on slot. And on top of that, they have to play Real Madrid 72 hours later. Like I cannot give you
Look,
a better scenario. You
it's a
cannot
good
draw it up.
it's a good
You cannot draw it
scenario,
up.
but Villa teams of past have played teams into form. So
No.
that's what worries me the most because we're known
You,
for if you want some form, come play Villa.
you
So
can't ask. You cannot ask for a better time to play Liverpool. So
yeah.
look, it's all there for you. You should feel confident they've got holes in that team.
Yeah.
And, look, for this game, should it have been a corner for Matty Cash to score? No foul?
Um I don't think it definitely came off Nunez. Definitely because he
No,
poked it
the
last.
foul, the foul. Do you think it should have been a foul?
I think it was light. I don't know. I wouldn't have called a foul. I'll play on 9 times out of 10. But again,
Okay, all right, fair enough.
if it wasn't that goal, I reckon we should have scored other goals. Like Jadon Sancho went through on goal, like 1-on-1. He missed a couple. You had
Well, look
Donnarumma
at
making
this. Look
goal
at the
line saves.
stats. They had 18 shots to your 9. You had 3 goalkeeper saves to their 2. They had an XG of 1.2. You had one of 0.8. Like the stats don't show the picture
No.
that you guys deserve to win. I thought maybe a draw might be a fair result here, but look, you got the win. You etched it out, and I agree with you. I think Matty Cash and Nanana were your 2 best players.
Yeah,
Um, but also Konza did a really good job on Haaland. Like he
mate.
limited the damage. He limited the damage of what Haaland could do.
Konza has been A1
He's
this
been,
year.
yeah,
A1.
he's really picked it up. He's
Yeah.
really picked it up. And surprisingly, Pau Torres has come in
Oh,
and
much better.
he's added a bit of guile to that defensive unit. And for some reason, he just looks like he's more at home now, which is good. Which is good for Villa because if you're not conceding goals,
You're in with a
you've always
chance.
got a chance. You've always
Yeah.
got a chance.
Yeah.
And I think the key to Villa getting top 5, 6, despite all this, you need to reignite Ollie Watkins
Mm,
because if you don't, there's only so many games Matty Cash, Benduya, and McGinn can win you over a
mm,
38 game season.
yeah.
Like it's nice to get these goals from other players, but what history tells you, Matty Cash is not going to score 10 goals. You know, Benduya is not going to crack 12. McGinn, like I'm saying, you
Mm,
need your striker to find form somewhere to
mm.
propel you and get those wins
Yeah, he does.
which you're gonna have, or you're gonna need. You're gonna need those wins to get top 5, 6, right?
I'm thinking if we go into January and we're thereabouts 4 or 5th, we're going for a striker. I have a feel because Emery
Who?
said it.
Who are you gonna get?
So, I don't know, someone on loan. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we go Ivan Tony on loan, to be honest with you. Like get someone in there because we got
Well,
nobody.
a lot of teams explored that in the summer, but if he comes back to England, there's big tax implications for him. That's
Mm,
why Steven Gerrard didn't take the Rangers job. So a lot of teams that are thinking, oh, we'll just bring in one of these players, there's big tax implications for them,
There's
and
no
you're gonna have
tax
to
over there.
subsidize that out. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
if they're earning tax free and they
Mm,
come to England, they're gonna get absolutely slaughtered with the
yeah.
tax situation. That's why it's not as easy to get those players just to come back and give you a hand.
Mm.
So, I don't know, but I think you do need a striker because Malin can't play there. Gusand, he's a worker, he's a schemer. Like he's not gonna set
He's
the
not a
Premier League
striker.
alight. Yeah, he's not
No.
a striker, he's not a winger. He's a
Mm,
he's a hard working forward, right?
yeah.
That's what he is.
Mm,
So yeah, you really need to address that Watkins
mm,
situation. But without him firing, you're defending really well
mm.
and you're finding goals. You know what I mean? You're finding goals through your team somewhere.
Well, that's the thing. Like, what, and that's the scary part. We still don't have. I said this before in the chat. One of our best players, Tillmans, is not even in there. He hasn't touched the ball since round 2. So
Yeah,
I'm waiting
yeah.
for him to come back. And then Rogers hasn't even found his feet, which I don't know. Like actually picked it up. He's played well in the
Yeah, he
past few
played a little
games.
bit better. The
It
only
just
thing is, the only thing is, if you get Tillemans coming back, I think he's one of your top two, three players. The guys that have been playing in that central midfield have been playing mad. Like
well, uh, kind
So what
of
I'm saying is, Anana
Anana.
came in today, and this was his out of the whole time I've watched Anana at Villa. This
Mm.
is probably one of his top two games. He was really good out there
Oh,
today.
he was amazing,
Yeah, he was
amazing.
really good. But
Yeah,
it was set up for him to be that good because you've got 5'8" Phil Foden, you got 5'7" Oscar Bob, you got
yeah,
5'9"
amazing.
Bernardo Silva, you
Yeah,
got 5'6"
yeah.
Savinho.
They're
You've got
small.
absolute
Yeah,
right.
it's set up for him. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no,
he's perfect
but
game
he's
plan.
not only that, but he's good for the big. Like, he would have been good for Brentford. He'd be good for the big teams where they just lob the ball into the box, and that's the hard part we've missed in the past because he acts like another centre back on corners or set
Yeah.
pieces. He gets on heads on everything, and that's where his main strength is in that sort of department.
Anyway,
But yeah, it was a good win, and we got Liverpool
yeah,
this
good
week, which
win,
we'll
good
cover.
win. Yep,
All right,
yep.
so Bournemouth Forest. Well, again, Bournemouth win again at home. Not surprising, to be honest with you. I'm looking at all their players. There's that many green ticks everywhere, green colours everywhere. Everyone played well. There's one play that's really stood out for me this year. That Tavernier. I don't know if you've watched him, but he's
Yeah,
really jumped.
Tavernier.
He's really jumped a level. I didn't really think much of him. I think his brother plays for Rangers. I think he's a right back. But anyways, um he's really jumped. He's really jumped a level in
Yeah.
terms of his gameplay. I mean, even that they've even got that Krupi now guy who's scoring screamers. Is it that
Yeah.
striker
He's
they've
just a
signed?
kid. He's a
Yeah,
kid. There's a lot of teams that were wanted him.
mate.
Um,
Is he from France? Is it
yeah.
the kid from France? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is
From
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is that from League Two? Was that him? Was it him?
Uh
There's a kid at League
yeah,
Two that
yeah,
someone
yeah.
signed.
League two.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This kid killed League Two, but now he's moved into the EPL, and it's like bloody watching Maradona some of these games. So he's done really
You know
well.
that I thought that was right because I know the other Tavernier from Rangers, who's like a right back, who's like
Yeah.
one of their best goal scorers of all time. These guys are Newcastle juniors.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah, I
right.
remember. I
Okay.
remember. I
Right.
remember when I used to play Football Manager back in the day. I remember them both in the youth team.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
but anyway,
Newcastle
yeah,
guys. But they've got man, that team's a sleeper. And I again, I didn't know how they're going to go because they literally lost their whole back line. They've signed
yeah,
Alex Scott, who again is from Bristol City. They dubbed him the new Jack Grealish when they first signed him. They got high hopes for him, and he's done really well.
yeah,
Tyler Adams,
yeah.
he's the American workhorse. Like they've just got players that work hard, and that Ariola's got them clicking really well. He's such a good coach, and obviously
Good
Semenyo
coach.
speaks for himself. But
Yeah,
but yeah, mate, this team really surprising me. Forest, on the other hand, they've actually had a good window. I thought they had a decent window in terms of their transfers. I don't know. You got Sean Dyche there. He's not an attacking coach, and these players, some of these guys, he's got Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs, Endoy, Jesus up
mm,
front. I don't know. Like no Chris Wood again, and that was his main guy at Burnley. So I don't know what's going on there. Is he injured? I don't know if there's a problem or what the
yeah,
case is. Or he's doubtful he's injured. So I don't know. I just think that team. That to me is a mid-table team now with Sean Dyche. I don't think he's going to take them too far
yeah.
up the table. It's just the way he plays the combative football, long
Well,
ball.
they had three keys last year, right? You had Matt Sells phenomenal in goal,
Oh yeah,
probably the form keeper of the comp last year. If he
Murillo. Yeah,
regresses a little bit, you're going to be in a bit of trouble
amazing.
at the back,
Yeah,
and he has.
yeah.
And up top, Chris Wood and
No.
Alanga was telepathic understanding.